Today we're talking about the Master of Mental Health Nursing at the University of Newcastle. My name is Associate Professor Jed Duff and I'm the Deputy Head of School for Postgraduate Programs at the School of Nursing and Midwifery at the University of Newcastle. And I'm joined by my colleague, Associate Professor Graeme Browne. Graeme, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, hello, I'm Graeme Browne. I'm the Program Convenor for the Master of Mental Health Nursing in the School of Nursing and Midwifery at University of Newcastle.
Thanks, Graeme. So in today's presentation, I'm going to give a brief introduction to the university and to the faculty in the School of Nursing, and then Graeme is going to provide some description of the Masters of Mental Health program, some of the courses, some of the staff, and even some examples of former students. We'll have some time at the end for questions. If you think of questions, you can put some questions up onto the chat now. Otherwise, Graeme and I can answer your questions at the end of the presentation.
Other than that, anybody who wants to email me questions about the program, I'll respond to you.
Yeah, we'll give you some contact details.
Yeah.
So just some details about the University of Newcastle. University of Newcastle by the numbers. If you come to study with us here at the University of Newcastle, you're choosing to study with one of the highest ranked universities in the world, actually ranked number 207 in the last QS world rankings. And you'll be joining a lot of other students. We currently have over 37,000 students at the school, at the university, from 114 nations. And we have over 2,600 full-time staff providing education services to those students. So as you can see, we're a very large regional university. In fact, we're one of the largest and the highest ranked regional university in Australia. But just because we're a regional university doesn't mean that we don't have a global impact. And we're very proud to have partnerships around the globe. And you can see here that we say we have 180 partnerships in 32 countries for student exchange programs abroad. And if you join us here at the University of Newcastle and complete your Masters of Mental Health Nursing, then you'll be joining a rather large group of alumni and alumni around the world. We have over 140,000 graduates from the University of Newcastle from 134 countries. And I can attest that I've actually bumped into more than a few graduates in my travels around the world. More generally at home, we're very proud of our links here in Newcastle to the Indigenous population and supporting of Indigenous enrolments and students, and we're the #1 university for Indigenous enrolments in the country. So you can see that, you know, by the numbers, it's a pretty impressive university to join. You might be thinking, where are we located? So obviously our name gives it away. We're the University of Newcastle, so we are primarily located in Callaghan, which is a suburb of Newcastle in New South Wales. But we also have campuses in Port Macquarie. That's where Graeme is, beautiful Port Macquarie. And we have our CBD campus here in Newcastle. We have a Sydney CBD campus and a Central Coast campus. And we also have a campus at Singapore as well. But of course, if you're studying the Masters of Mental Health Nursing, you're probably going to want to study online. And we have over 1,000 students studying with us online across Australia and around the world in our postgraduate nursing and midwifery programs. And currently in mental health program, how many do we have, Graeme?
I think there's 572.
So more than half of
count.
those students are mental health nurses studying our Masters of Mental Health Nursing online as we speak. So you'll be joining a lot of other students who are from around the world with experience and things to share.
The Master of Mental Health Nursing is one of the most popular courses in Australia.
And it's one of the most popular definitely in our school, and so in postgraduate programs, mental health nursing is a very popular and big program. If you come along and join the Masters of Mental Health Nursing, you'll be in the Faculty of Health and Medicine. Now, this is also a really large and comprehensive health and medicine faculty. I can't remember, we've 14, 15, 16 health professions are trained and educated here at the University of Newcastle. And although we're a regional university, we're proud of being able to transform healthcare through our innovative teaching and learning, and also our commitment to world-leading research. So the faculty is health and medicine, but you would be joining the School of Nursing and Midwifery. And in the postgraduate programs, we have 4 on offer. You're here listening to the Masters of Mental Health Nursing, but we also have a Masters of Nursing program, a Master of Midwifery Studies, and a Master of Nurse Practitioner program. So let me tell you a little bit more about our school, the School of Nursing and Midwifery, in particular our postgraduate programs at the University of Newcastle School of Nursing and Midwifery. We're very proud that our school was recently ranked number 38 in the world for nursing schools. So that was just in the last QS subject rankings. And in postgraduate, we're ranked number 3 for graduate satisfaction in the country for postgraduate nursing and midwifery subjects. And really, that's because of our impressive student and graduate satisfaction. You can see here that our overall student satisfaction for postgraduate nursing and midwifery is 80%. So that's above the national average of 75%. And you can also see for our graduates, when asked how satisfied they were with their education, over 90% were satisfied. And again, that's well above the national average of 83.3%. And so I think we're number 3 in the country, hoping to be number 1 shortly, because of a combination of our leading academics such as Graeme, partnering with expert clinicians, and Graeme's going to introduce some of the staff that teach into our Masters of Mental Health and discuss some of their expertise in the field. And there's a picture here of Professor Regina Lee. She's another example in our nursing masters of an expert academic with connections globally in health and nursing. And these academics partner with our clinical experts. And I think that's one of the keys. If I had to sum up what the key is for our success, I think that partnership between academic scholars and clinical experts is one of the keys. And of course, the real measure of success is the outcomes for our graduates. And our graduates say that they're satisfied, but our graduates also find employment, and over 99% when they're surveyed after graduation have found employment, and 96.2% are full-time. I imagine that's probably all the people that want full-time work have found it. And the median salary for our graduates is $93,000. I'll now hand over to Graeme, who will provide you with a little bit more detail about the Master of Nursing and its entry requirements.
Yeah, I'll talk about the Master of Mental Health Nursing first, though.
Oh, what did I say? Master of Nursing. Master
Thanks, Jed.
Mental Health Nursing. Thanks, Graeme.
Jed's our head of school, or deputy head of school, or whatever his title is, for a whole suite of programs. I'm responsible for.
They all merge into one, that's right.
You can finish it in 1 year full time, but most people don't. Most people work part time and do it 2 years or longer. We have 3 intakes a year in January, May and August. So that's trimester 1, trimester 2 or trimester 3. And the whole course is online. You can do it from anywhere you like. If you're in Perth or Darwin, you don't have to get on a plane. You can just be at home at night and doing the course. Do you want to speak to the fees briefly, Jed?
Yes. So this, if you're eligible for Commonwealth supported placements, then the fees are, depending on the course you choose in the units, about $836 per per 10 units or per course,
Yeah.
which of course is so this is generously supported by the Commonwealth Government.
At Newcastle University, we call one course at 10 units.
Yeah.
And you need to complete 80 units or 8 courses to complete a master's degree in mental health nursing, or what was the other one? Midwifery.
Speaking of that, Graeme, perhaps you'll go over some of the core subjects in the Master of Mental Health Nursing.
Yeah, contemporary mental health is a course at the moment. Many people know Mike Hazelton. He's the course coordinator for that. And that gives an overview of some of the core elements of mental health nursing. Introduction to research is a subject which is done right across the suite of graduate programs in Newcastle University, and it gives an introduction to research in healthcare, as it says. I'm going to talk a bit more in depth about therapeutic engagement and psychosocial interventions. For the Master Mental Health Nursing, you have to do these 3 core courses, but there's another 12 courses that you can do to complete the degree. They're called directed courses. And you'll study things like talking therapies, psychosocial education. We have a specialty for if you're interested in working with older people. We have a specialty if you're interested in working with young people. We focus on primary mental health in primary care. If you're interested in forensic mental health, I'll introduce you to the coordinator of that, and that's one of the specialty areas that you can take up. If you're interested in drug and alcohol, you can also focus on that.
So there's a lot of choice as well. I'll just perhaps, Graeme, you could talk people through the program plan. This is an example of the sort of program that you might do if you started with us.
The course is
semester 3.
The course is continuing to develop, and one of the things we're trying to do is make it more user-friendly. We want to make it satisfy the needs of the profession and your careers, but we also want to make it as user-friendly as possible. And so what we've done is we've distributed the core courses across the years. So in trimester 1, you can do Intro to Research, trimester 2, which is running at the moment, Therapeutic Engagement, or trimester 3, Contemporary Mental Health. You can do one course at a time, or you can pick up 2 courses and do a core course and a directed course, or an elective, other people call it, in trimester 1, core course and an elective in trimester 2, core course and elective in trimester 3, and that gives you, in your second year, 1 trimester to do, which is 2 directed courses.
And you can see there's, this is an example plan. There's a high degree of flexibility, and we have program advisors on staff who can help students plot out their own program plan that meets their needs and their work requirements and and personal needs. So it's,
I think,
very flexible.
There's a number of reasons for our success, and I'll talk about the other reasons in a minute, but I think the flexibility of the program, the ability to do it from your own office, bedroom, kitchen, wherever, is a great advantage, but also the flexibility of being able to enroll at any time and do the courses in the order that they come up.
Thanks, Graeme.
Now,
some of your team.
I think the strength of this program, and I think all the suite of graduate programs in the School of Nursing and Midwifery, are the teachers and the impact they have on the courses. And I just want to introduce you to a couple of people who work with me, and they're teaching with me at the moment. The top left is Tony Mullen. He's a mental health nurse, and he's involved in a project around safe wards at the moment. He's a very experienced clinician. Next to him is Brandy Welsh. Brandy's a nurse practitioner, and with a special interest in older people's mental health. She works in a regional area, and she teaches across the 3 trimesters because she has an interest in psychotherapy, an interest in older people, and an interest in mental health nursing generally. So she's got a lot of depth to her. In the picture with the 3 people in, that's John Sharples. John Sharples is on the right. He's dressed in black. He's a forensic mental health nurse. He's now working in an acute unit, but he's got a very, very long history of working in forensic, and he runs the forensic unit. And next to him, with the wild hair, is Browne McMinn. Brian's semi-retired now. But he was a nurse manager in an older person's inpatient unit for many, many years. And that's 4 of, I think, probably 8 people that we've got working in the Master of Mental Health Nursing, teaching into it, and they've all got the depth of background that these people have.
Great, thanks. And look, they are excellent. I know because I, you
see their student feedback on their teaching.
I do, and I set myself a little rule that if someone gets exceptional student feedback, then I send them a personal email, and I know these names well because they get emails from me regularly saying how fantastic their student feedback is. So.
Can I just, John in the corner there, I asked him for a photo, and he really wanted to show off the fact that he goes to Thailand and goes to North Thailand and teaches in North Thailand, and it's one of the pleasures in his life. So
perhaps Graeme, you want to tell people, give them an example of one of our
a course that's running at the moment. I'm the course coordinator for this, and those people you just saw all teaching into it. It's called Therapeutic Engagement in Psychosocial Interventions. I'm not responsible for the title. It's about developing your therapy skills, developing your skills at developing therapeutic relationships, and also developing you in a particular area. We do a lot of basic, basic counselling, motivational interviewing, CBT, mindfulness, those sorts of things. But what I'm trying to do is give you some grounding for your development as a therapist. And hopefully we also inspire you to go on to study further, to develop as therapists. This is going to be a standalone course, and we find a lot of midwives do it, and non-mental health nurses are doing the course because they want to find out about the therapeutic relationship and how they can develop personally. It's a lot about personal development, how they can develop personally to improve the way they relate to consumers, clients, patients, people, whatever language you want to use.
Great. And it is, yeah, I've noticed that students from other courses, other programs do that course too. So very good. And then I think you've got some past students.
Past students, you'll notice the one on the left, Brandy. Yeah, she works with us still, but she's from Canada, and she did her mental health nursing there. She's not interested in any other sort of nursing, but mental health nursing, a bit like myself. And she studied the course and did a nurse practitioner, older person's mental health, and she now teaches into the program. Because of a broad background and interest in mental health nursing, she teaches right across the program. She coordinates the older persons, but she teaches into the course we're doing at the moment, and the contemporary mental health nursing. Warren is a nurse practitioner in mental health nurse practitioner in Queensland Health. He studied with us and finished, I think, probably about 2 or 3 years ago. I still stay in touch with Warren because he's a surfer and so am I. So we talk to each other occasionally, and he's doing very well in his career. He's started doing private work, which I think is available to mental health nurses and not a lot of other nurses, but he started doing, and he's really loving that, having the independence. And the third one, Mary, and I'm sure Mary would like me to say that that's not a great photo of her. She's much more attractive than that. Mary's a nurse educator. She used to work in Sydney, but now she works in a regional area. She did the Master's in Mental Health and Nursing, I think about 5 or 6 years ago, and she's now enrolled in a PhD, looking at nurse education and how mental health nurses handle their transition to practice year.
Yeah. It's great to see. It's a real testament to the program that we have so many students in the Masters of Mental Health Nursing, but that people stay in contact.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I was only talking about in the webinar yesterday for Masters of Nursing how I still get people email me like 3 years later about something that they'd learned in my course and that they're applying it at the moment, or it's a project that came out of an assignment that they did, and I just think that's
that's
really
a wonderful thing about being a teacher, getting that feedback from people who've taken what they learned from the courses and are implementing it, and they feed it back to you. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you're interested in doing the Masters of Mental Health Nursing at the University of Newcastle, then the admission requirements are...
You need to be a registered nurse.
Yep.
Or midwife, and have a 4th year of study. Don't hang up now, because that's some flexibility in that. And that includes an honours degree, that 4th year, a postgraduate qualification, such as a graduate certificate or a graduate diploma, a transition program. So people who apply with a transition, having completed a transition program in a clinical area, normally get 20 credit points towards their master's degree. You need a minimum of 1 year's experience, and at this stage, the minimum of 1 year's experience can be undertaken while you're doing your grad certificate or your transition to practice program.
So as Graeme said before, we enter into trimesters. So trimester 2 started, but if you're thinking about starting this year, then trimester 3 deadline is the 9th of August.